What's going on, everybody? How are we doing today? What's happening? You might be thinking, what the heck's happening with me? Um, Doing the stream today in my bathrobe. That's what's up. This is the privilege you get for being a remote, working remote, coding remote. So just coding in my bathrobe all day today. Woke up this morning, a little chilly, threw on the robe and I've been in it since like 6 a.m. So it's all good. It's all good. And then I had to do the stream a little bit early, and I was like, oh crap, I haven't changed, but is what it is, right? So today we're going to talk about how to code in a bathrobe. All right. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Jason. I'm a full stack developer here at DevSlopes. So I primarily work in the MERN stack, Mongo Express, React, and Node. And then work on a lot of cool internal projects for DevSlopes. And then also DevSlopes is a learn to code company. So I have the privilege of working with students all day and helping them learn how to code. So pretty great stuff. And I also help them land freelance work and get jobs. All right. So that's a little bit about me and what I do. So today my robe keeps falling open. We're gonna keep it casual today. Doing the stream a little bit earlier today. If you are a beginner developer and you have questions about where to start, what technology stacks to learn, tips for 2021, getting into the development scene, go ahead and drop some comments below, and I will surely get to those. All right, first off, let's see who we have here from Instagram. We have Fabian Not Sublime, RJ27 Foodie, Arjurain, Georgie. What's up, Georgie? Isn't Georgie's the one from It, right? That movie, the boy who gets eaten by a clown. What's going on, Georgie? Welcome here, Harris, Chernilium, Mr. Sumitop, 2002. Welcome, everybody. What's going on, TikTok and Instagram? YouTube, make some noise. Let's get some life happening over here. So let me see if we have any questions from Instagram. No, y'all just staring at me in my bathrobe, I guess. Somebody wants to join my live stream. You can join it only if you're in your bathrobe and you're at a computer coding. All right, let's take some TikTok questions. Someone asked, hey, I'm studying computer science in the university and I'm only doing it for the degree. If you're only doing it for the degree, that's a waste of money. I mean, kudos for getting the degree, but I mean, I don't know. It sounds like, are you even getting into computer programming at all? Or are you just doing it for the degree? That's a lot of money to spend just to get a degree. On top of that, you don't need a computer science degree to program to get a developer's job. In today's market, all a company or a client wants is somebody who can code. Either you can or you can't. They just want somebody who can deliver results. So whether or not you have a computer science degree, it doesn't matter. People just want to code. Someone asks, do you have to learn CSS to learn Node.js? Absolutely not. CSS is a styling language for HTML. It has nothing to do whatsoever with Node.js. Node.js allows you to write JavaScript on the server, so it's all done with JavaScript. Thoughts on if you start, oh my word, let's see, thoughts on if you start at a community college. Okay, so here's my thoughts, okay? And these are factual thoughts, all right? And I'm bringing it to you from personal experience. So one, I'm a self-taught developer, all right? I do not have a computer science degree. I've been coding for about 6 years. I used to be a full stack engineer at Dell Computers. I was there for a couple of years, and now I'm here at DevSlopes as a full stack engineer and as a teacher. So do you need to go to a community college? No, you don't need a computer science degree. All right. And you can learn to code on your own. Okay. Self-taught developers in general probably have 10 times the hands-on experience coding within their first year than somebody with a bachelor's in computer science over the course of 4 years. Self-taught developers just have way more experience, and that's what the industry loves. They love to see these developers coming in that are self-taught because they have loads of hands-on experience. And yeah, it's just the industry is changing. People just want somebody who can code. So if you haven't gone to a community college yet for a computer science degree, don't go. Save yourself the money. There's no reason to go drop that type of cash when you can learn to code, learn way faster, and start getting paid more and faster. Which language is used most at coding? It depends. There's so many programming languages that are used. Each programming language solves a different type of a problem. So for web development, you've got HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then there's other libraries and frameworks like React and Angular, for an example. If you're doing mobile development, you've got iOS development, Android development. If you are looking into cross-platform, you've got React Native, Flutter, and then you've got Python for machine learning, game development, and whatnot. And the list just goes on. So there is no best programming language. It's just, what do you want to build with software, and then learn that technology. Let's see. What do we have? Home network reveal. Um, no, let's see. Web development or application development, what is more demanding? They're really the same. Web development is kind of the same as application development. Like, you've got websites and web apps. It kind of falls under the same realm as just web development. Maybe if you're talking about application development, you're looking at iOS, Android. So web development has a much broader market. Like, I mean, everybody and their dog, if you're a developer, can get a web development position. Um, iOS and Android, still a really good market, a little bit more of a niche market, but the salaries are higher in mobile development, like app development. But they're both needed. Everybody's going to need websites and apps. What kind of math do you use in this career? Basic math. At addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Just basic math. You don't have to be a rocket scientist or anything by that means. Let's see. What about gaming? Game development is awesome. So me personally, so you can do game development with, what is it? Python. Some people use that. Me personally, I would choose C#, and I would use the Unity 3D game engine to build games. But there's several technologies you can use to build games. All right, let's take some YouTube questions here. TikTok, I'll get back to you, and then Instagram, we'll get to you here in a moment. Hey, bro, can you explain about information security? You know what? I haven't dived into information security much, and so I can't really speak to that. Imagine working for a company instead of freelancing in 2021. Yes, that's why I don't work anymore. I showed up in my bathrobe and they canned me. No, that's false. I left Dell because I wanted to work remotely. And I enjoy teaching. Let's see. Imagine working. Let's see. I started the 30-day JavaScript challenge yesterday. Complete beginner. Trevor, that is awesome. Fun fact for you. I'm the guy in the video that teaches all the 30-day coding challenges and created the solution videos. Now, you know what I look like in a bathrobe. That's weird. Sergio, how long does it take to get someone back to you? I tried to enroll at the end where it said to schedule a call, but didn't have a date, and emailed, been a week and no response. Hey, Sergio, just you've got to be patient. And yes, you're saying that it's a first bad experience. With our Black Friday sale, there are so many people, an unreal amount of traffic of applicants that have been applying. Like, we're talking about hundreds of applicants a day. And so we're a little bit backed up. I'm actually working on an automated solution right now, coding something up to make sure everybody gets an automated text message. We do see all these applications, okay? And there's a real human that responds to all of these. We just didn't anticipate the magnitude of this Black Friday deal that we did with our academy. So please be patient. You can always reach out to Nathan, Nathan at devslopes.com. He's the one that sets up the career calls when you book a call. So email him, Nathan at devslopes.com. But yeah, patience. Let's see. Coding is easy or hard? Coding is hard. All right. Coding is not a walk in the park. Coding takes time. You have to be patient with it. So when you're learning to code, there's a couple of things to be mindful of. Is one, you are learning a brand new language. Okay. Second, you are learning a brand new way of writing. You're learning a way of writing that you've never done before. And third, you're thinking of brand new ways to programmatically solve problems. All right. This is an entirely different type of problem solving skills that uses an entirely different set of skills to actually Google things to find answers. All right. It sounds weird, but as a developer, there is an art to Googling. You don't Google like you normally Google. There is a specific way of Googling to find solutions and answers. So it is hard. Okay. It takes time. I would say to be proficient, let's just say web development, for an example. To be proficient in web development, it could take anywhere from 6 months to a year to be able to be ready to start doing freelance work or to get a job. So it takes time. It takes time. All right. Vue.js or React.js. Both of them are fantastic, by the way. Here's the difference in opportunity. Okay. React.js is widely adopted in the industry. All right. Super easy to find a job as a React developer. There's so many of them. All right. And it's also a fantastic language to use if you're doing freelance work. Vue.js, on the other hand, fantastic framework. However, Vue.js is not widely adopted in the industry. You might find a few startup companies using Vue, but that's really it. So if you're looking to get employed, Vue is not the language to go to. At the same time, it's also a good choice if you're choosing to freelance. Epson, how long do I need to put on practice every day to learn web development? You need to put in at least an hour and a half to 2 hours a day, 5 days a week for a year. Then you'll learn web development. Okay. And it might come, proficiency in web development might come before that year, but on average, it can take anywhere from 6-9 months to a year. All right, Sergio, 10-4, thank you. You're very welcome, Sergio. Yes. Okay. Networking is good for the future. Absolutely. Anything in tech right now is great for the future. Bryce Bruce, where do I start? I'm 26 and I want to start my career. I feel like I'm getting old and not doing anything. I want to get started. Hey, Bruce, I was your same age when I first got into programming. I got into coding like, no, let's see. I was actually older than 26. I think I was actually 27 or 28 when I first got into programming for the very first time, like seeing my first line of code. You're not too old to get into it. I would get into it now. So I've been coding for 6 years now, and it is very common after 3 years of in the field experience to see salaries of 6 figures or more. So definitely get in. You're not too old. The first thing you need to do is pick a learning path. All right, Bryce, what kind of software do you want to build? Do you want to build apps, games, websites, web apps, AI, machine learning? Do you want to work for NASA on embedded systems? What do you want to do? All right. Once you decide the learning path that you're going to do, that determines the tech stack for you to learn. All right. Don't just learn something because somebody says it's popular or it's the best thing to learn. All right. You need to choose a learning path. What is it you want to build? And then that determines what you learn. All right. Let's see. AJ says he's 29. He finished an 11-hour YouTube course on HTML and CSS. Now you're learning JavaScript fundamentals on the side, practicing what you've learned. Awesome. Yes, AJ, 29. Good on you. Stoked to hear that you're learning to code. So, I'm a self-taught developer as well, Bryce and AJ. I did this on my own 6 years ago. It can be very difficult learning to code on your own. For me, I got lost. I didn't know if what I was learning was relevant and practical to be successful as a developer. I didn't know when I was ready to start freelancing or when I should get a job. I learned a lot of things that were useless, that didn't benefit me effectively in getting a development career. And so one of the things that we do here at DevSlopes is we do have a very curated guided learning path. And then you're able to work with somebody like me. I'm the DevSlopes Web Academy instructor and mentor. So I will personally work with you to learn web development. And then we have like live weekly meetups. I will review your code. So you'll turn in assignments and then I will personally review your code and give you feedback and make sure that you're, implementing best practices and making sure there's no red flags in your code. And then I'm going to help you get a job, which is pretty cool, whether that be freelance work or get employed somewhere. I've got students right now in my web academy that haven't even finished the academy, and they're already making thousands of dollars freelancing. And some of them have even landed jobs already, and they're not even done with the academy. So it's pretty awesome. It's really cool to see. All right, Instagram. Let's get to some questions here. All right, where do we start? So many people on Instagram. Welcome, everybody. Stoked to have you here. Let's see. Where's all the questions? Thanks for the hearts. Appreciate it. How much did you spend to learn? So on my learning, so I attended an in-person boot camp. When I first got into coding, it was this 12-week crash course. It moved so fast. And at the end of the 12 weeks, you're just done. It's like, thanks, see you later. Thanks for your money. But anyway, so on that boot camp, I think I spent like $5,000, and then I probably spent several $100s on courses after that. Like I said, like I went to this boot camp. It's like, oh, cool, an in-person boot camp. It's not that great. I mean, you think about this. It's an in-person boot camp, and they have a curriculum that they have to, shove down your throat within 12 weeks. That means that they can't stop or slow down for anyone. To paint a picture of this, there were 15 students that had enrolled in this in-person boot camp that I went to. By the end of the 12 weeks, there was 3 students left, me and 2 others. The other thing is, at the end of that 12 weeks, it's just done. It's like, okay, we taught you stuff, goodbye. And it's like, wait a minute, I've been coding for 12 weeks. I have hundreds of questions. And it was just a joke. It was not a good experience. Like, sure, it kind of kicked things off, but everything I learned there, it just didn't help me in the long run. Really, what I wanted in the end, if I could do this all over again, it was find some type of a mentor or a coach in the beginning, just to have somebody to be able to ask a dang question to and point me in the right direction instead of wasting weeks learning crap that I didn't need to know, or going into rabbit holes and whatnot. Let's see. What else do we have? How much time do we have? We've got about 10 minutes. All right. Let's see. The robe is programmed to fall apart until the end. It is my robe. I got to build a function to keep this thing closed, right? It just keeps opening up. That's for sure. That kids is how you get the algorithm to work for you. That's right. This is all data structures in here. I have no idea what that means. All right. What if you have no foundation whatsoever in coding? Let's see. Emika, Ryan, totally fine. Everybody, every single person in the world who gets into programming has zero foundation in coding whatsoever. All right. One of the beautiful things DevSlopes Academy is it starts from a point of view and where you know nothing about coding. So for an example, I was the one who built the curriculum and the curated guided learning path for the Web Academy. And I did this as a beginner self-taught developer in mind, because I was a self-taught developer and I've been there. And so my approach to teaching is to take you from the very beginning, not knowing a single thing about coding. There is zero expectation. And then building these concepts upon concepts to help transform you into a developer. So yeah, if you're interested in getting some mentorship, coaching, and all that stuff, then go to devslopes.com/apply and check out our academies for iOS, Android, and web. What's the biggest difference between iOS development and Android development? They are entirely different code bases, entirely different set of rules that pertain to Apple's guidelines and Android's guidelines, and they're completely different app stores. And if you want to do Apple development, iOS development, you have to have a MacBook. But they're 2 different programming languages. iOS, you're going to use Swift, and then Android, you're going to learn Kotlin. Let's see, what else do we have? What are the benefits of being self-taught? Okay, so here's some benefits. That's actually, Prince, a really good question. What are some of the benefits of being self-taught? And I'm going to give you an example of me, self-taught, and then my older brother, who has a bachelor's in computer science. Okay. And let's talk about the different paths that we chose. I chose the self-taught road. Okay. It was difficult in the beginning because I didn't really have a guided learning path. But I did research about web technologies and ended up doing the mean stack, Mongo Express, React, and Node. All right. So I was like, okay, so I'm going to build these web apps and everything, these single page applications. Eventually I dived into React, but that's irrelevant. So I went down the self-taught road. That means I am watching loads of tutorials, doing tons of projects. I have tons of hands-on experience, and not to mention it's way more inexpensive. Granted, I did go to this in-person boot camp, spent $5,000 on it, but the rest of my learning was done through online documentation and YouTube videos, really. So that was the self-taught road. By 1 year of doing self-taught, I had an amazing portfolio. I started doing freelance after about 4 months of learning to code. So I was already making money doing freelance work after 4 months of learning on my own. And then once I hit this 1 year mark is when I actually got my first job. All right. And my first job started me out at $78,000 a year. All right. Now that was done in a year. Okay. Let's go through the college computer science degree route. My brother spent 4 years in college for a computer science degree. I believe they taught him Java, and it was C or C Sharp, one of those. Okay. By the time he was done with his computer science degree, it took him 6 months to get a job. When he got his job, he realized he knew nothing about, no practical skills about programming. In fact, the job that he got wasn't even using the languages that he learned in college. He probably spent like $80,000 or more for a computer science degree. All right. In the time over those 4.5 years that it took him to get a job, I was already making over 6 figures in that time span, being in the field, actually working it, being self-taught. And him, because he had no portfolio, nothing, just a computer science degree, his first job started him at $60,000 a year. Now it's a different story. This was years ago when he did his computer science degree, but that's what started him at. 4.5 years to start a salary at 60,000. Me, in 1 year, started a salary at 78,000. By the time he got his first programming job, I was already making over 6 figures. Okay. So that's the difference between self-taught and, you know, what I've learned. And I have personal friends, very close friends who have done computer science degrees, and every single one of them have said, I have no idea how to code. I mean, I learned some things. I know how computers work. I know about managing memory and all these, you know, deep, low-level system stuff, but I have no idea how to take these skills and put them to practical use. I don't even know how to get a job. And that's the way it is. That's the way it is with college. And so a computer science degree will do nothing in your development career. Because again, at the end of the day, all anybody wants is somebody who can code. That's it. All right. Sorry, I really went off there. But Prince, you asked a really good question. What are the benefits of being self-taught? And every self-taught developer that I know they're fantastic developers, first off. And when you're learning to code and you get a development position, you never stop learning. So these people who are like, oh, you didn't go get a computer science degree, like you must not be a very good coder. And it's like, do you even know what a programmer does? They are consistently learning for the rest of their life. I've been coding for 6 years and I still learn brand new things probably almost every single week or every other week about coding. My code becomes more proficient because I'm learning different type of architectures and patterns. Like it never ends. So it's bullcrap if somebody says, oh, you're not a good coder if you don't have a computer science degree. No, not real. All right. We do have a couple more minutes here. Thank you for your question, Prince. Let's see. Let's take just like 2 more questions from each. So 2 more from Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We got to hurry and wrap this up before my robe completely falls open. But it's okay. I'm wearing pants, gym shorts to be specific. All right. Let's see. Let's see. You're not looking at the phone screen. That's true. I've got 2 phones and then a webcam because I'm streaming on 3 different platforms. Let's see, cybersecurity or web development. I don't know a lot about cybersecurity, to be honest, and I haven't really dived deep into it. But I'm very passionate about web development. Cybersecurity is interesting, though. I just haven't looked into it. Let's see. How do you know if you're going to like coding? Hey, Jordan, that's a fantastic question. So what you should do, because a lot of people, they're like, oh, I want to code and everything. They actually get into it and they're like, oh man, this sucks. Like it takes a year to learn this stuff. Like no way, too much work. Um, Here's the thing. Pick a learning path. What do you want to build with software? And then dabble in some YouTube videos, or there's some free websites like on web development, for an example, and just do a few tutorials and just test the waters. See if you like to code. And if you do, I mean, obviously you can go down different paid routes if you want additional help and whatnot, or better quality material to learn. But test the waters first, free. See if you like coding, and then invest in it. Let's see, how much UI UX design skills are needed for front end developers? I would just say, I mean, you don't have to have professional experience by any means. Really, what a developer does is there will be a designer who is the UI UX designer. Okay, they provide you with the mockups, and then you just have to recreate it. That's it. I mean, so you just have to be a good front end developer and be able to mimic exactly whatever the designer gives to you. That's all. Let's see. All right, we're going to take some TikTok questions. I'm going to scroll to the bottom. I'm so sorry, everybody, if I skip some questions. What would be the first language to learn? MCOV 48. The first language to learn depends on the learning path that you choose. So if you want to do web development, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React. If you want to do iOS development, you're going to learn Swift. If you want to do Android development, you're going to learn Kotlin. Should I do computer science major or computer engineering? You don't need any majors in anything to learn how to code. Save yourself the money. Need it. Yes, Mohammed, I answer questions here. I'm streaming on 3 different platforms, so I just rotate around here. Let's see. Last question from TikTok. How do you know when to start applying for jobs? Currently in a boot camp and still don't feel ready. Tribe called Eric. I know exactly how you feel. I talked earlier about being in an in-person boot camp. It moved so fast that nothing really clicked until about 10 weeks. And then after that, I was left with hundreds of questions still. But what you should do to really start solidifying some of the things that you're learning is start building your own projects. Okay. Stop doing tutorials, get an idea, or just Google some good beginner full stack projects. All right. And then just start building it. Like, think from the beginning, what is it I need to do? What does this application need to do? How is the user going to interact with it? And then take those steps and write the code yourself and come up with your own solutions. Because guess what? That's how it works in the real world. In the real world, you don't just follow tutorials to build whatever the employer needs you to build. You have to programmatically break things down into small steps and then solve one tiny, piece of the puzzle at a time. All right. So once you can build a full stack application, okay, something that can create, read, update, and delete records from a database, all right, and you can do that just building the project, figuring it out on your own, then you're ready to start doing freelance work and ready to start a job. All right, everybody. Okay, I'm just going to answer one more question. I did technically start 3 minutes after 2:30. So last question from YouTube here, bro. Can you share your full stack developer success story, bro? It may give some clarity for my future pathway. And what is your first coding language? Okay, this is perfect. Here I am. I just need a pipe now. A pipe, those little fancy curly ones, puffing on a pipe and giving you my life experience, success story here. So here's my story. I worked 8 years as a regional sales manager. I hated my job. I hated sales. I hated dealing with customers. I was always interested in technology and interested in coding. Okay, it took me a very long time to make a move on it. When I first started thinking, hey, I want to learn to code, I started weighing out, should I go, to college? Should I get a computer science degree? I'm married, and at the time I had 3 kids, so I weighed the option: should I get a computer science degree? Should I do self-taught? Like, what should I do here? But then I wanted to do iPhone development, and they don't teach iPhone development in computer science. And I was like, well, I'm going to spend $80,000 to learn Java and C#. Like, I want to do iPhone development. And so I started going down the self-taught road. I dabbled a little bit in iOS I was like, you know what, this is cool. I think I like programming. And then this opportunity opened up to go to this in-person boot camp. It was web development. And so I was like, you know what? I'll test this out. So I spent thousands of dollars to go to this web development boot camp that moved so fast. 90% of the students dropped out because of how fast it moved. At the end of the boot camp, I was left with hundreds of questions and I'm still forced to continue learning on my own. Um, and so that's what I did. Now, having a family and kids, the way that I continued my learning to be successful in this is I was up every morning at 4:30. I coded from like 4:30 to around 7:38. I went, did my day job, came home, learned to code some more in the evenings, helped out with bedtime, dinner, all that stuff, and then coded after that until about 11 p.m. or midnight and repeated that process for a year. And then I got a job. My first job, I landed. I was already freelancing after about 4 months of learning to code. So I was making a little bit of money and building a good portfolio. And then when I was ready to start applying for jobs, first job landed was 78,000 a year, and that was after a year of learning to code on my own. And it was a lot of work, a lot of sacrifices, a lot of early mornings and late nights learning to code. Saturdays and Sundays, I spent around 10 to 12 hours learning to code. I made this arrangement with my wife and says, hey, I'm going to be unavailable for like the next year. I want to change our lives. And lo and behold, it was hard. It was really hard doing this. I went flat broke. I mean, here I am, a regional manager, 8 years, awesome salary, to doing a whole career change. I went flat broke. I lost my cars. My cars were repoed. I couldn't make payments on anything. Okay, it was very difficult. People look at me now and they're like, wow, Jason, you have such an awesome life. Like, I was like, yeah, it took some freaking serious work to get here. That's for sure. And so, but I continued at it. I had a lot of grit. I worked through it. I just wanted to provide a lifestyle for my family that would just change everything. And now I live in the middle of the country, out in Texas. I got a nice little piece of land. I can work remotely. I cater my job around my lifestyle. And yeah, I get to be home all day. It's a good life. It's a really good life being a coder. But anyways, enough of that. So that's my story. That's how I got into coding. And it was hard. But I can promise you, if you're looking to get into coding and you're consistent, you do it every day, I promise you it will change your life. I promise you there's so many opportunities as a developer. So that wraps up today's stream. All right. So again, if you are brand new to programming and you want some guidance, some direction, would like to work with a mentor, somebody like me, promise I will not wear a bathrobe. Then go to devslopes.com/apply and check out the Academy for iOS, Android, and web development. If you are brand new to programming and you want to level up some of your skills, DevSlopes has this really cool JavaScript 30-day coding challenge. Go to 30daycodingchallenge.com. I think the next challenge starts in like 2 days or something. So go to 30daycodechallenge.com, get enrolled in the next 30-day challenge. It's 30 days of code challenges. You've got a personal coach and mentor that you can work with every single day, and there's weekly live meetups. So it's a really fun experience. So go check it out. All right. Until next time, stay safe, stay positive, keep coding in a bathrobe. Adios.